So I did talk about this earlier in the stream, but I do want to go over this step by step. I kind of want to give you guys my take on this post, on the blog post here, and let me finish up with the can you open a bunch too much? Yeah. Do I find superior basic catalyst to be a big bottleneck? Yes, they are, and we're gonna go. That's why we're gonna go through the blog post here. I'm gonna give you my take on what I feel about the words that they kind of threw at us yesterday, and obviously there is orange gear is part of that. So I do want to go over that. We're gonna. This is fluff talk here. Sift through your all the crap that you posted on Reddit, and here we've come to talk to you. Acknowledge the so orange gear access. The most pressing concern the community has raised in recent weeks is the availability of orange gear. Certain orange gear pieces, including origin pieces. So I want to go back to the game really quick here. Origin pieces, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, refers to this kind of stuff. Like this stuff. Which, by the way, I need tons of these superior spliced X genes because they take a crap ton to upgrade your character. So Phoenix, who I need to take up to 15 for Dark Dimension 4 at some point. You know, you need 50 of these spliced X genes per gear piece. And, you know, finishing her up is going to cost 150. But I can barely take very many characters up to the orange gear range, because if I do, I'm screwed for Dark Dimension. So I think they really need to let up on farming these sorts of items. They just take too many. Like 25 cytoplasms, 50 X genes. Not so much of these, but I mean, there's still a lot of pieces across the board. And, you know, I've cleared Dark Dimension 3 twice now, and I'm still running low on these kind of things. So, not to mention Superior Basic Catalyst. This looks like a lot, and maybe it is, the 14,500 Superior Basic Catalyst. But to gear someone from 14 to 15, and not to mention 12 to 15, you know, takes a lot of Superior Basic Catalyst. So don't take these for granted at all. Be careful of what you're gearing your characters up to the orange stage. Only gear characters up to 13 plus that you are going to be using in Dark Dimension 2, 3, and 4. You know, wherever you happen to be in the game. But don't just willy-nilly go around upgrading characters up to 13 or 14. You're going to regret it later, because you're not going to have any of the orange pieces that you need for characters you actually are going to need for Dark Dimension. So make sure you don't forget about that, because otherwise you'll get trashed later for not having the gear that you need. And they did say that they'll follow up in 3 weeks, but I think that's too little too late, frankly. I think they need to give us some things now, or give us some better details now rather than 3 weeks. 3 weeks is a lot of time to wait, but let's keep going through this. So they said including origin pieces, superior basic catalyst, and other superior catalyst parts. I think the origin pieces, to me, is probably the worst, but yeah, we could use some more of all of this anyways. Very in short supply. While we intended that players should have to make choices about where they use these components, we were overly tight on these resources. So at least they admit this part, whoever wrote this, preventing players from bringing up a wider array of characters past Gear 12. Now, this is a big problem. Let's sort my roster by gear tier, and you'll see how many characters that I have at 14... 13 and above, really. So these are all characters that I've used in Dark Dimension, with the exception of Jubilee, Thanos, Cull Obsidian, Mr. Sinister, Ghost, Zemo, Sabretooth, Black Bolt, Corvus, Ebony Maw, Phoenix, Symbiote Spider-Man, Doc Ock, Emma, Carnage, Proxima, Venom, Anti-Venom, Scream, Hela, Invisible Woman, Strife, Punisher, Ultron. I did actually use Ultron in Dark Dimension 3, Colossus, Minerva, and Scientist Supreme, and Shuri. So I do have a lot of 14 above. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 24, 26 or 7 here. Of which, maybe about 20 of them I did use in Dark Dimension, and some of them fell off. Scientist Supreme has fallen off, Colossus has fallen off. Ultron I'm not taking up to 15. And a few others I just did for the sake of it, like the symbiotes. But, you know, for the most part, and then 13 here, these are some very early upgrades that I did when Tier 13 was very new, so don't, you know, don't criticize me too much here. Vision was very good in Arena, I would say prior to Black Order still. You could do a Vision Hela combo, an ability block, and then spread on the offense. This was very powerful, actually. Loki, Tier 13, Rocket, don't ask. Spider-Man, don't ask. Jessica Jones was actually Dark Dimension 2 meta at the time. Thor, I think I did it because I had 5 red. Shield Security, Also Dark Dimension 2 meta at the time. Same with Nick Fury and Groot. These were very Dark Dimension 2 meta, believe it or not, at the time. Sif, I think I was going to take her to tier 14, and then I never ended up doing that because I ended up going a different route. Agent Coulson, very strong at the time. I had a little bit of extra tech gear. Juggernaut, not sure why I did this. Star-Lord, not sure why I did this. And Yelena more recently, because she doesn't actually take a lot of gear pieces to get to gear tier 13. So that's it. That's everything that's 13 and above. And you see a lot of characters that I want to take, you know, 12 and above. Sorry, above 12. So my Sinister 6, you guys know that I love Sinister 6. So I would love to take Swarm, Electro, you know, up to 13 or higher if I could. Magneto, you know, I have 6 red stars. I actually would like putting in some more gear on him as well, because I actually do quite like him in a war perspective. The Sinister 6 here, you know, there's characters, all my characters sitting at tier 12. Squirrel Girl, who I have 7 red stars with, who's almost 7-star activated. I would love to take her to tier 14 and above, but I just can't because there's too much scarcity in gear, in orange gear, that I just can't really do that right now at this point in time. But I have so many characters sitting at tier 12 that just aren't going anywhere. So, and Loki's back from his walk, or wherever you guys, you wanna... What? Tier 13 Loki. We got a tier 13 Loki coming over. Tier 13 Loki. Oh god, my headset. Say hi. We got a tier 15 Loki here. Oh god, my hair. Oh god, my headset. Say hi. Very tired. Well, maybe he's a tier 14 tired Loki. Okay, let's get back to the blog post. But you can say hi, wave your hand, wave your arm. Oh, wave. Okay, tier 14 tired Loki. Okay, take him back. Oh god, he is slipping. Oh god, my headset. Okay, sorry. 1 second. 1 second, guys. 10 red Loki. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Anyways. Oh, I can't hear my own music now. Oh, what happened? My headset got cut off. Uno momento. I need to fix something. My audio settings kind of got messed up there. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, that's our Cardigan Welsh Corgi. Oh, he's barking. Cardigan Welsh Corgi, in case you guys haven't seen him before. Anyways, so as you guys can see, you know, I have a lot of tier 12 characters that, you know, I would love to take up, and, you know, I just can't. So hopefully that they do actually resolve to fix some of these issues. So let's go back here. Since the progression to gear tier 15 requires a significant amount of resources, yeah, no kidding, this game isn't yet at the point where orange gear should be accessible as blue or purple, and I don't think any of us are really asking for that. I don't think any of us are kind of wanting, you know, the same kind of accessibility as blue gear orbs, you know, and stuff like that. Like, for me, blue and to some degree, some purple gear isn't really that tight for me. I don't find it that tight anymore, but it depends on what point of the game you're at. If you're down because you unnecessarily geared up some characters, just know accidentally T-Ford Black Widow's special. That's not the worst. If you have a really good Black Widow, that's actually not a terrible upgrade. But it has moved to the point where non-unique orange gear shouldn't be as tight as it is today. We are putting plans into action to correct that, and while some of these plans will take longer, some changes we can commit to in the near term, updating the raid milestone rewards to include more rewards, especially orange gear. So I don't know what this is going to mean. I don't know if this is going to mean that they're going to add some orange gear orbs to the milestone, the raid milestone, which is severely outdated. Increasing the quantity. Whoa, he is really barky. Loki! Stop being so barky. Hey. Hey. Yeah. Hold on, guys. I keep treats at my table, just in case. Come on. Alright, come on, yeah. Here, you want another one? Alright, go get it. Alright. Let's try this again. Increasing the quantity available from the supply store and the raid store. So I'm not sure what this means exactly. And maybe you guys could pitch in here. Now, maybe it means instead of 1, we're getting more than 1. And then for the raids, instead of 3, we should be getting 5 for the same price. You know, I guess that would help, you know, a little bit more. Do you guys buy orange gear out of the raid store? I'd be curious to know. Yeah, I haven't shaved in a while. You know, lockdown, all that thing, maybe a little bit lazy. I'll get to that this coming week. But thank you. Yeah, I'm curious. Do you guys buy this stuff? Because I do sometimes, but only if I'm really desperate. If I'm like under 100 or something and I really need to get them, I'll buy them. But for 3 of them for the price, it's not as good as the price that you're getting for the purple gear. Because you're getting 7, you know, for half the price, you're getting 5 of them, which arguably might be a little bit better. I still buy purple gear, and I only very occasionally buy the orange stuff. It's quite expensive, I think. So I was just curious if you guys buy that at all or not. You know, I do it very occasionally, and yeah, I guess that means that the quantity might increase, and I think that's something that they could do now. I think that's something that they could easily flip the switch for, that they could change this without a major patch, in my opinion. Maybe I don't know enough about, you know, about development, but I feel like that's something that they could do a bit easier. So even that would go a long way into some goodwill, I think, that they really need to give us here, you know, for the players, because I think that we're in a real big issue now with some of this stuff. A new feature that we will highlight in an upcoming blog of our 2021 preview will also be a source of orange gear. Any clues, any guesses here, guys, what this might be? A new feature, not game mode, feature. So feature, I don't know. Feature could be I keep saying that word, but I'm assuming it's not a game mode. I'm assuming it's just something real-time arena leagues. Like I'm kind of grasping at straws. I'm not really sure what we don't have that they could add in that might also give us orange gear. I'm not sure. I'm kind of hoping it's not League. Well, I mean, I kind of do think that Leagues would fix some other issues, but we'll get to that. So training modules, definitely. I'm sure you guys have run into this, especially if you're in the mid game or if you're in the early game, that you'll probably have this difficult decision about who to level up and how much you can level them up based on how many training modules that you have managed to get. So there are players, especially newer players here, who have a great need for training mods. Building out a wide roster for modes like War and Blitz can be more demanding in this area than building up only a few teams for Arena and Raid. One of the ways we plan to address this is to make them more readily accessible in one of the mode-specific stores, which we'll announce a bit later. So, if this isn't Blitz store, because I think Blitz is the only potential player-friendly decision, because you can reasonably farm Blitz credits through simming, and I have a huge excess of Blitz credits, I'll admit, 143,000, and you know, that's okay. You know, even with buying war resources, I do have quite a lot of Blitz credits, and I don't really buy these catalysts, but they're quite expensive. But if they gave us, you know, maybe 5 oranges for 1,000 or 500 or something like that, you know, then that might be okay. You know, every reset, that might be an extra addition that we could get. But other than that, if they throw it in the God forbid, the arena or the war store, you know, or even the raids, I just really don't think that they should be throwing it anywhere else. I think that would be a real slap in the face, personally. And I was talking to people about how they felt about just ditching training modules altogether. You know, I don't know how people feel about that. I know that there would be some complaints if they outright got rid of it, even though that's probably what they should do. I don't know any game on the market that I've played where not only do you need gold to level a character, but you need these training modules on top of it. You need 2 bottlenecked resources to level a character. Normally it's just gold for most games where you level a character, or one resource, you know, but to have 2 resources to level a character is very strange, in my opinion. And I thought about that ever since I started playing this game. I thought it was a bit weird. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you flat out got rid of training modules, there'd be a lot of people maybe out there that would complain about, you know, well, you know, I spent money on training modules, so, you know, you should compensate me for this kind of stuff. So, I don't know, maybe they'll... I think there'd be more positives than negatives to getting rid of training modules, but I think we're too late into the game for them to do that, unfortunately. So I think we're stuck with this crappy-ass system. Character availability. Previously we mentioned that we deliver at least 2 characters per month, with 1 guaranteed on the first Wednesday of every month, and we believe we've done a good job of honoring that commitment. Last year we did allow too much time to pass without certain characters becoming fountainable. We're still waiting on you, Beast. You know, the blog post said in December that he'd become farmable soon, and where is he? Is he the next character? We'll find out, because realistically, according to my my spreadsheet, if you guys have seen my spreadsheet before, that he should be the next one coming up, and I'll bring it up really quickly here, in case you guys are interested. I have this spreadsheet of mine that kind of shows dates and stuff of character releases, and Beast came out July 23rd last year. So we're going on, and I think I have, do I have it here? 205 days. We're almost at, how many months? 7 months. That's way too long. And Squirrel Girl went, wait, no, that's not accurate, actually. It wasn't 214 days for Squirrel Girl, but this is accurate, I'm pretty sure. Because it's using the current date and the release date. And then Swarm took 178 days, I believe is, well, no, wait, no, we're not there. No, it's still ticking. That's wrong. Okay, but Beast is right. So Beast is still 205 days, and then after Beast, we're basically at Electro came in now. We're at Baron Zemo. I don't think that they're going to be letting him be farmable anytime soon. I think Baron Zemo is going to continue to be a premium character, personally. But then next up is Scream, She-Hulk, and Anti-Venom. So the Symbiotes patch from September, October. That's basically where we're at now. So I kind of have this weird feeling that they're going to give us She-Hulk before they give us the Symbiotes. They're going to, like... they're going to wait, you know, to release some of these better characters, I think, and throw us the crappy ones in the meantime. And so in terms of farmability, though, so we got... I mean, we got a lot of Pimtech in January. We did get... we actually got 4 characters in January. We got Swarm on January the 6th. And then we got Ghost on January the 20th, Yellow Jacket 25, and Stature on 25 at the same time. So we actually got 4 characters in January, believe it or not. But in February, we have had Electro so far at the beginning of the month, and we're due up for 1 more. So if that's not Beast, I would be really shocked if they gave us She-Hulk. That would be a bit of a slap in the face. But given the fact that people have unlocked Jubilee and don't have a way to farm Beast, even though he's in the RTA, I don't think that's sufficient enough, frankly. And so they probably should give it to us. Give it to us in the raid store, something that's, you know, a bit more friendly. I have a lot of spare raid orbs that I could open up to get as shards. They need to do more. And so, be it campaigns, I don't know why they just can't. And I like this part here, not the scheduling of the legendary events. But yeah, we need to hold them to this to make sure that we do get, at a bare minimum, 2 or more, preferably more, at least 3. I think it should be minimum 3 characters per month rather than 2, and I think that would help solve some of the backlog. I don't think characters should be going anywhere close to 6 months before becoming farmable. I think playing other games, other mobile games that have had this kind of system, I think 4 months, realistically, 4 or 5 months maximum is, you know, how long you should go, I think, before a character is available. We've also been adding characters to the War Store without removing older characters, and that has created some overcrowding. Yeah, hello Nobu, hello Cable, hello Ravager Bruiser. I'm pretty sure Ravager Bruiser is in the War Store. Let me... Shield Operative? Get out of here. Like... There's so many trashy characters that... I wish there was a War Orb, because I don't remember every single character in the War Store. But I'm pretty sure Ravager Stitcher is in the War Store. Am I wrong? Or he's in the raid. Oh, never mind, he's in the raid store. Ravager Bruiser, I'm pretty sure he's in the War Store. Please correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I think there's some pretty trashy minions in there outside of Shield Operative. So, this needs to be fixed, and this could be done now. They could easily just, you know, delete a lot of the characters that are already in the War Store and just a good faith measure, you know, they could at least take a couple out right now. And that would make it easier to find the characters that they are trying to find. There is still quite a few characters in the War Store that people need to get. And just taking out these really trashy ones that nobody ever buys, realistically, let's be real. Nobody buys like a third to half of these characters that are in the War Store because there's other available farming methods for them. So there really is no point in doing so. The Doom Raid rewards. In version 5.1, we released the new endgame raid, Doom Raid, in a first strike early release state. When we did this, we didn't properly communicate our future plans for the Doom Raid, including all the rewards that would eventually be going into it. We plan to include the next tier of ISO 8, Blue, aka Tier 2 or Level 2 or whatever they call it, I don't remember now, as a new endgame reward for that raid. But we're not ready to go into details yet. While the raid is in the first strike state, alliances ready for a greater challenge than Ultimate 7 difficulty level 5 can test and build their teams in preparation for the full release of this epic challenge. So my question is what we have now, the Doom Raid First Strike, is this easier or harder than what they intend to give us later? Is it harder than maybe they'll make it easier when they fully release it with various difficulties? You know, this happened with Ultimate 7 a little bit. I believe the initial Ultimate 7 was harder than the first Ultimate 7 was harder than when they brought out the difficulty slider and made it a bit more adjustable. The base Ultimate 7 was easier than the old Ultimate 7 base difficulty. You know, but they weren't transparent with us about Doom Raid. They weren't transparent about the intentions. So I think this helps, but I would like to ask the question, you know, okay, is the next one going to be harder or easier? You know, and then that might give me a good idea for my alliance as well. You know, do we have any hopes within the next 6 months to even consider tackling it at all? And I know my alliance isn't an endgame alliance, but I know there's probably others in this chat who are wondering the same, whether or not is there a point to leveling up some of these teams when we have no chance in hell to get into Doom Raid? You know, what's the point of building up some of these teams if we aren't ever going to set foot in there, really? And there's absolutely no reason to convince my alliance to do the same if we won't. Quitting penalty in RTA. Also in version 5.1, we made a change to allow the AI to continue a match, blah, 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 blah. So people would like to be able to quit out, especially when you're matched up against some pretty egregious matchmaking. We've probably seen some really crappy matchmaking with well over 100k in difference, sometimes 200k or more. And what's the point of staying in there if you're just going to get stomped without being able to take a turn? And so I'm sure with RTA Season 3 back, you guys have all been autoing your real-time arena, right? And getting those objectives done, because you just sit there with the auto button, because realistically there's no reason for us to manual play it for the most part, because that's the way that it's set up. And I'm actually almost done my week already. I just spammed the crap out of it last night because I was just sheer boredom on Reddit, and I was just autoing on one screen and reading Reddit on the other. I know if you're just playing on the phone, you don't really get that option, but I recommend getting BlueStacks if you want to auto real-time arena. It's a lot easier to do that and do something else at the same time. So just a heads up. Raid Milestones. So yeah, they've untouched since their initial implementation in 2018. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that they haven't made any alterations to this in, what, 3 years? Since the game came out? We agree that this is an area we've ignored for far too long. That's an understatement of the year. It needs to be updated. One of the ways we plan on doing so by rewarding additional gear. Yeah, that's like the bare minimum you could do. They need to extend the milestone. Most of us, you know, who are in Ultimate 7, clear the raid milestones in like 2 days, you know, and it's like a 14-day thing. So they really need to extend that raid milestone, allow us to pick up additional gear, maybe some orange gear in there as well. That would go a long way. Some purple gear at the start possibly, and then some orange gear further on. That would really make a big difference, I think, in addressing some of these issues. Thor's hammer throw crash, not even going to talk about this, but personally I haven't had this happen. I don't really use Thor. Maybe some of you guys have actually used Thor and haven't had this crash happen. Why this is still ongoing like 4 months later, I have no idea. I'm not a developer. I don't know why this why this is such a struggle for them to fix, you know, 4 months on essentially. This doesn't seem like something that would be that difficult to fix. And save squads, so hopefully we'll get more save squads next patch. Maybe, I guess, 5 more slots, but realistically we should get like 10. They did say that they had struggles with save squads because they didn't know if the game could support it, because there were, like, internally the game couldn't support that kind of data. I don't know if that's still an issue, but that was something that was mentioned before. So we'll see if that's remains the case. And then, so basically, yeah, that's what they've been working on. Things that they haven't addressed though, red stars. People really hate red stars still. I know red stars are here to stay, but if they're making things like Doom Raid a 6 red recommendation, then they really need to give us either more red stars or preferably, you know, more promotion credits and more ways for us to actually be able to upgrade our own characters, because, you know, it's really unreasonable to have these kind of requirements if they're not going to find or give us ways to upgrade quicker. I actually missed the Dark Dimension 3 rewards, which contained promotion credits as a reward, and knowing that Dark Dimension 4 didn't, that was a little bit disappointing, to be honest. But they really need to, that's something that I think needs to be addressed. Maybe they're just going to completely ignore that part, but I think Red Stars was a big gripe by the community about, you know, moving forward with that. And there was a really great post basically saying a celebration, you know, as a celebration for each new character, then you should get 10 free red stars, you know, to be able to open for that character. And I think that would actually be really, really great. Even 5. 10 would be even better. But, you know, like, some people just are really strapped for red stars that they can't even pull on new characters. And if you don't even get, at the bare minimum, a 4 red drop on new characters, they're pretty trash, unless they are a kit-based character where you don't really need the red stars, but that hasn't been that frequent recently. So I think that red stars really is something that we need to address here, something that hasn't been addressed, and I think that we're going to need to hold their feet to the fire, I think, on this. It says we'll follow up this post in 3 weeks, so that gets us to, as of yesterday, that gets us to March the 5th, which actually is very close to when patch 5.2 probably will be coming around. So I really hope that they're not just stalling for, you know, for us to forget about these things. I hope that they actually give us concrete details on what they plan to change and what they plan to implement. I think that I really think that they should be making changes now, at least some things that they can change now, and then give us that goodwill that they really need to give us, you know, and then that will tide us over until the 3 weeks. I think it's going to be a tough pill to swallow for those of us who are just expected to wait 3 weeks on their goodwill, which they don't really have a whole lot of lately, and expect us to just take it. And I guess at the end of the day, we have to, right? You know, I mean, otherwise we, again, do things that we can already do now, which is, you know, not spending, you know, write reviews on your app store and write an honest review about it, about the situation. And I think that might actually help more in the meantime until we actually are able to do something about it and we hear the actual details in 3 weeks time, I guess. That's all I can say about that. But I don't think this went far enough, personally. I think that they can do more, and I think some early goodwill would actually go a really long way in the community, telling us that they actually, they give a little bit of a shit, you know, that they actually, you know, they don't want everyone to quit. They don't want you know, I like the game. I enjoy the game, and I enjoy playing it with you guys. I enjoy, you know, coming on every day, but there is many parts of the game that I'm concerned about, and for you guys, you know. And actually, where was this part here about the alliances where they... Oh, yeah, this part. We've also been in discussions with leaders from some of the top... I totally forgot to talk about this. With leaders from some of the top alliances regarding their concerns with the economy, and we've been finding their feedback immensely valuable. So there's been a lot of posts on Reddit regarding this statement here, the sentence. Because I don't know... And, you know, maybe you guys can, you know, chime in a little bit as well. I don't know to what degree they have everyone's best interests at heart. I think that what problems there are for the top end isn't the same as the problems for the early game and the mid game. And while they might be knowledgeable about the game in general, you know, the exact specifics, problems that are facing sort of mid game players, I think is quite different than even someone like me. I don't think I'm not in whale top end territory, but I am. You know, I try my best to understand the problems. I think I'm actually starting to get into a bit of a training mod crunch myself. But yeah, it actually only recently started becoming a problem for me. So I admit that some issues that I might have aren't the same for everyone else, and the issues that you guys might have might not be something that I have. You know, personally, for me, I don't find that ABCs are a big crunch. I feel that they've added quite a lot. They could probably do more, but I think it's enough for me, given what I need to gear up for my characters. So that's one part that I would say that is not an issue for me, that is for everyone else. But I just wanted to finish off with that statement there, because I forgot to go over that, and I know that that was talked about on Reddit quite a bit. So yeah, that's how I feel about the blog post.